Hey, welcome back to Gronsky Books. I am Eric Gronsky. I read, write, and talk about books. We are getting to the end of the year. As of today, there are 40 days and 40 nights left to the year. And these books here are some of the books that I am currently reading. If I'm going to get through even half of what I have, what I've started recently, by the end of the year, I really need to come up with a reading plan and a priority list. So this is a partial priority list here, and I want to kind of go through this. This is my Endo 2025 reading priority. So the first book that is it's my first priority read. It's an ebook, and I've got to pull the cover up right here. It is The Asphalt Jungle by W.R. Burnett. This is a book that I am buddy reading with my friend Phil. I've let him down on buddy reads in the past where we committed to reading a book together, and I have not followed through, so this has to be a priority. This is part of Phil's reading project this year where he is reading books that have been adapted into films, and the wilder the adaptation, the better for him. So this is a jewelry heist kind of crime thriller set in the mob era of the United States. It's implied that it's set in Chicago. I don't think it ever actually says. But this book was adapted into an Ernest Borgnine film, and I can't remember the name of it. And it is a Western about a robbery at a gold mine. Both Phil and I think that's fascinating. How do you adapt a jewelry heist mob era novel into a gold mine robbery Western? All right, so the next one that I have, my second priority, is Blood over Brighthaven. This is a book that I am reading with my gaming group back home. I moved out of my apartment about a month ago, and I've been down here staying with a friend 600 miles from home. So while I am displaced temporarily, my gaming group has agreed to continue meeting on Discord, and so we're doing Discord voice calls with books. And so the first book that we did was I, Robot. So I've finished reading this. So we read I, Robot. We had a talk about this. I will be making a video on this, but let me get to that in a little while. So I am currently reading Blood over Brighthaven. I started it last night, and I read the first 100 pages or so. This is a kind of a techno fantasy. I don't really read a lot of fantasy. It's sort of a genre that I tend to enjoy, but I don't really go to on my own. So one of the nice things about being in this book club, or any book club, I'm actually doing 2 book clubs, and I'm buddy reading this third one with this book with Phil. Nice thing about reading with other people is that it gets you exposed to things that are somewhere in your Venn diagram with them that you might not normally be attracted to. That being said, I'm not really enjoying this book very much. I started off taking some notes, as I do, especially if I'm reading with other people for discussion, or if I'm going to make a video on this channel about a book. I take a lot of notes, and I enjoy that process. But after the second chapter, I stopped taking notes. It's not that it's a terrible book. It's just not really my kind of thing, and it's not. I just found that I was nitpicking a lot, and all of my notes were kind of negative comments about like continuity, the author's sense of time, that kind of thing. Just things that I didn't really like, and I don't want to just take a whole pages and pages of notes about things that I don't like about a book. And that being said, it's not that this is a bad book. It's just not really my cup of tea, at least in the first 100 pages. It's not bad though. It's pretty easy reading, and there's part of me that's enjoying it, and so that's good. The third priority that I have is another book that I'm reading for a book club. This is an online book club. I have not started this yet. This is The Melancholy of It is The Melancholy of Resistance by Laszlo. I really need to learn how to pronounce his name. He just won the Nobel Prize in 2025. I've never read anything by him before, so this is my third reading priority before the end of the year. At this point, we kind of get into kind of loosey-goosey, and I'll kind of go through them in order here. The next one that I have is The Complete Robot. Now, this is most of the short stories that Isaac Asimov wrote for his robot series. It does include all of the stories that are in iRobot, but then there's another 22 stories or so. I will be rereading all of the stories, including the ones that were in iRobot. So I want to read them in the order, or at least in the clustered order in which Isaac Asimov kind of feels like they work thematically with each other. Now, I am planning on reading all of the Robots books, and then all of the Foundation books, and then all of the Galactic Empire books. So these are 3 series by Isaac Asimov, and they're all connected, or at least loosely connected to each other. And this is going to be not a super long-term project. It is the big project that I am currently working on. So as soon as I finish this, I want to make a video or a series of videos. And I want to know from you how you think I ought to order this. So I do plan on making a standalone video for iRobot. But after that, I don't know if I want to do a single video for the entire Robot series, or if I want to do a standalone video for each one of the books in the series. And then when I get to Foundation, do I do a single video for each book in the Foundation series? Or do I do a collective single video for the whole series? Yeah, let me know downstairs in the comments how you would like me to present this Isaac Asimov reading project. Okay, so there's another book that I started reading because my friend Phil was reading it. Here we are. This is Elmore Leonard's Gunsights. I started reading this. I have this book I have on my phone. I didn't get very far in it. I do like it though, and so I'm probably gonna have to start it over because I started it about a month ago and I only got probably 30 pages into it. All right, so let's move on. And then we've got another ebook that I've got, and I started this on an audiobook, and I decided to stop listening to the audiobook and get the ebook so I can read this on here. This is Blind Sight by Peter Watts. My nephew read this book and thinks it's one of the greatest science fiction stories he's ever read. He's a voracious reader, whip smart kid, and he really enjoyed Blind Sight. So I started listening to the audiobook, and I also think it's super inventive. The author was exploring a lot of really neat concepts about space travel, human interference with our DNA, that kind of thing. I don't know really what the rest of the book is about, but I was sold on that. It's the kind of book that I really need to read because I was kind of losing track of some of the details. Audiobooks for me I have to be careful with audiobooks. I don't listen to a ton of them. Another one that I started as an audiobook, but I quickly abandoned and I got the ebook, is Forget the Alamo. Now, I'm reading a bunch of books set in and about Texas and Texas lore. So that's another. So I guess I have 2 ongoing projects: the Isaac Asimov one and the Texas lit and lore. Some people might call this a revisionist history of the Alamo, but it's so detailed. I was losing track of names, and it's all unfamiliar place names and people. An early conflict between Spanish and Americans and Apache. A lot of details there that I was starting to lose track of listening to it. So I really need to have my eyes on it so that I can have that processing power. So this is good. So this is ongoing. Not in a super huge rush on that one. But it is checked out from the library on an ebook, and so I do want to try to finish that before that goes back, I guess. There's a book called The Longhorns. This is another one of the Texas books. This is a nonfiction book about the history of longhorn cattle in Texas, how they got here, what they are, and the social and economic impact of longhorn cattle. This is by J. Frank Dobby. So when I got to this small town that I'm staying here in deep East Texas, I was pleased to find out that this very small town actually has a library. And so that was my first order of business, is I went down to that library. But I go on a lot of walks, and I walk past that library a lot. So I decided that every time I go on a walk, I'll stop in at the library and read a chapter of The Longhorns. Another book that I have in this Texas thing, this is the last one that I'll talk about for the Texas thing, is Texas by James A. Michener. And I am 111 pages into this 1,500 page book. So this is fictionalized, but it's like the fictionalized history of Texas, as Michener is known to do with all his books. They're all deeply, deeply, deeply researched, and you're basically getting a history textbook in story form. That is lower on the priority list, but still something that is ongoing. The next book is, let's just go here. This is Schattenfroh. This is one that I started 2 months ago, and I read it for a month, and I got to page 404. So it's 1,001 pages. It took me a month to get through 400 pages of that while I was reading other things, and I haven't read any of this in the last month. I should put this higher up on the priority list. I want to finish this before the end of the year. This is I don't know what's the right adjective: hard, difficult, complex, experimental, arduous, trying, infuriating, compelling, fascinating, I don't know, mind-blowing, tour de force. I don't know what you call what I'm going to call this exactly, but this is the most unique book that I've read, definitely this year, but maybe in the last 10 years. I'd have to fact check myself on that, but for sure the most unique book that I've read all year. And then I've got 2 books here on writing. This is The Art of Time in Fiction and The Art of Time in Memoir. And so I am also writing a book while I'm out here in Texas. Let me see if I can get these set up. So I'm also writing a book while I'm down here. Oh, for God's sakes. There you go. So I'm also writing a book while I'm down here in Texas, and I hope to have at least a big chunk of it done by the time I leave. I don't know how long I'm going to be down here. At least another month. I'm not exactly sure. But I'm working on a book every day, and time and memory are 2 of the big things that I kind of play with in this book. So those are there. And then the last book on the table that I have is If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies. And this is why superhuman AI will kill us all. So one of the books that I finished this yesterday. This is The Village Beyond the Mist. This is a children's book. This is by Sachiko Kashiwaba. This is a short children's book that was the basis for the Hayao Miyazaki film Spirited Away. Very loosely based on this, but this is a very cute story. The young girl travels to an unknown place, and she is put to work in all these different shops. And so all the stories are about her traveling there and the different shops that she works at, living amongst and assisting all these descendants of wizards. And it's a fun little story. It was really good. I am also listening to one audiobook. I don't have it on here, but it's Infinite Jest. I am listening to Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace on audiobook. And before you yell at me, I've read it twice already. I've read the book twice already. So the audiobook does not include the footnotes. And the footnotes, for anybody who's read the book, know that the footnotes are essential to your understanding and, well, maybe not total understanding, but your more complete appreciation of the novel. I know the book intimately well, and I am just listening to it again because I think in 2026 it's turning 30. So I'm listening to it now, but when I get back home and I get into my storage unit where all the rest of my books are, I have a physical copy there. And I am going to reread it. I want to do a video on Infinite Jest on this channel. I don't know how I'm going to talk about it differently than everybody else on the internet has talked about it, but I have a couple of ideas. I also want to talk about the videos that I want to try to make before the end of the year or coming up soon. There is a video. I filmed a video last night. It's actually this morning at like 3 o'clock in the morning. It's books you probably haven't read. So I went through my book log that I have online, and I kind of pulled out a number of books that I don't think many people have probably read. They're not exactly the most obscure books in the world, but it's books that don't normally get a lot of love on, at least on BookTube. So there's a video that I filmed before I left home a month ago that I have not edited yet. So it's still on here waiting to be edited, and that is the best and worst of book design. My pet peeves about book design, things I like, things I don't like about book design. There's the iRobot video. I've read a bunch of Westerns this year, and so I wanted to do a single video about all of the Westerns that I've read this year. The Schattenfroh video, I'm working on that Texas literature and lore video. So then I've got like a list video. It's the 10 books I'd bring to the moon. I thought it'd be kind of fun. Like, instead of like desert island picks, this would be like stranded on the moon books. And books that remind me about why I love the earth. So I think that'll be fun. I'm working on that. Obviously, there's the 2025 wrap-up video, and then plans for 2026 video. And there's a whole list here of videos that I am either currently working on or ideas that I have. Some of them I have stuff written for them, but unfortunately, some of the notes that I have 5 videos that I have actual like researched notes for, but they're on a hard drive in storage 600 miles away, and I don't have any access to them because I didn't put them in the cloud because I'm a smart guy. So, was there anything else I was going to talk about? So there's the books I'm currently reading. This book right here. I haven't talked about this one. This is Grunts by Mary Gentle. This is a kind of a ludicrous fantasy novel. It's about orcs fighting on the front lines of the great war of good and evil. Orcs will die by the thousands. Life's a bitch. I just think this looks campy and fun, and I want to read this as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't really supplant any of these books, but maybe if I get really bored and I just need something totally different and whimsical and campy, I'll turn to that. Hopefully, I'll get a lot of this done in the next 40 days and 40 nights. And then we'll see where I end up, because I don't know where I'm going to be a month from now or 2 months from now or 3 months from now. I don't have any plans yet. So I just want to thank my friends who I'm staying with, who are putting me up and putting up with me. They've been very gracious, opening their home to me while I kind of figure out what my next steps are. Doing pretty good. I hope you're doing pretty good. And I have been Eric Gronsky. This has been Some Kind of Video. And until next time, read something good.